So I'm Marlene Lima, and I'm the supervisor for the PrimeTime program. And we're an in-home support program for families with children 0 to 3. It's a free voluntary program, and we're able to stay with the family for the long term. So that means that we're able to stay with the family up until basically the youngest turns 3. There's such a need. I know that the research on the community need in Calgary is that there's at least 10,000 families that are kind of considered vulnerable. So they have at least 1 or 2 risk factors in terms of like postpartum depression or the poverty or socially isolated, that sort of thing. We would love to expand our team of coaches. They're really what makes the difference, because when the families feel comfortable with their coaches, they access the program, they utilize it to the fullest. And so right now we have a team of 5 coaches.
My name is Hazel Lupulak. I've been a family coach for 8 years. I was a foster parent for 26 years. As a foster parent, I saw the damage done to kids. So as coaches, we go in and we want to prevent that from happening. I don't want kids to come into foster care unless they absolutely have to. Because some kids do have to come into care. But most of the time, I think it's 80% of the time, or the new statistics, those kids could actually stay in their homes. So if we can prevent that damage, I'm a happy coach. I've had 3 moms who didn't talk to their babies at all. One was a year old when I went in. And so I said to her, "Is the baby talking?" And she said, "Well, no." And I said, "Well, do you talk to her?" And her answer was, "Why would I talk to her? She won't understand me." So we have lots of different vulnerabilities, right? So I have moms who didn't have parents growing up, like they were in foster care. And so when they started doing parenting on their own, they had no idea what to do. They really didn't. They didn't know that, they needed to keep the baby safe, to keep the baby warm, to not fight in front of the baby. Like all those things are things that we teach, right? So honestly, there's just such a huge variety of things that make these families vulnerable. There really is.
Oh, it would make a huge difference, because it's basically would allow us to double our program in terms of allowing us to hire that many more coaches. So as I said before, we have 5 coaches now. It would allow us to hire at least 5 more coaches, serve at least 50 more families a year, so at least 100 over the 2 years. And that, considering most of our families have more than 1 child, some up to 5, we're talking helping like 200 to 400 children in the 2 years.
The family barbecue or picnic, whatever, is a fabulous affair, and we haven't been able to do it for the last couple of years. And we don't have the manpower, we don't have the resources to do it. And the company would have so much fun if they came to our picnic, because they could see all of these kids, they could interact with them, and the families do feel so much better when they get together. We have a questionnaire on one of our pieces of paperwork, and it says, "What could we do better?" And one of the things that my clients always ask is, could we have more get-togethers? Because then they feel less isolated, and they get to see other kids, and they get to see that there are other families who have very similar problems to theirs, which is really empowering for them.